Hey guys, welcome back to Treadmill Review Guru. Today we are going to review the CityRow Go Max. So as you can see, this is a very sleek, quiet water rower. I love the fact that it has this water take up at front. It also has the 19-inch touchscreen with subscription content from CityRow, so you can sit and enjoy programming while you row. There's a lot of features that we really like about this. It's a little bit of a newer design as far as attaching a touchscreen to a water rower. So let's dive in and take a closer look at who this is best suited for and some of the features and specs. First off, who do we recommend this for? Who is this water rower best suited for? Well, if you are someone who enjoys rowing outside and you really like the feel of being on the water and you like the sound of the water, water rowers are preferred by people that row outside because it just provides the most natural feel. And the movement of the water through the tank is actually quite soothing and it is very quiet. I was frankly surprised at how quiet this machine is. It rivals a magnetic rower. So it's really well suited for someone who really enjoys rowing and is looking for something quiet. As you can see, the rower does take up a bit of space, so we do recommend that you have sufficient floor space for it. However, it will fold up and you can store it vertically or horizontally. We also recommend this for people who are looking for the benefits of rowing but also want subscription content. Because it does include that touchscreen, you can get a subscription from CityRow and they provide updated programming and things that you can enjoy. They've got 20-minute rows, 30, 40, and then lots of off-the-rower workouts as well. So we do recommend this for someone who's looking for subscription content. If you don't want subscription content, we would probably recommend a rower that doesn't include a touchscreen. You can't access the web on this, you can't watch Netflix, so it's just designed to provide you rowing instruction and guidance as you go along. So let's dive in and take a closer look at the overall construction. So as you can see, one thing that I really like about this rower is the overall design. I love the fact that it has a wood frame. This is American ash wood and it has been painted black, but it just kind of is a warm feel as opposed to your all steel fitness equipment that you typically see. It just kind of warms it up a little. And I really like, you can see the wood grain through the paint and it just feels like a piece of furniture. You do have an aluminum rail right here. So this isn't wood, this is aluminum. And I've measured it's about 49 inches in length. And CityRow says that it will support users with an inseam up to 39 inches. So it really does have a lot of span and should work well for taller users. The rower itself without the water, so just dry weight, is only 75 pounds. So it's actually surprisingly lightweight compared to other types of fitness equipment. When you fill it to the recommended level right here, it's about 112 pounds, but you can still lift and move it if you need to. You do have the front transport wheels up there, and it also will fold, so you can store it vertically. The overall footprint when it's open, it does take up a bit of space, and remember when you row, you lean back here at the end, so you're always gonna wanna make sure that you have extra clearance at the end of your rower. Don't put your rower right against a wall or something like that, but the whole length is about 85 inches long. So it is rather long. It's only 23 inches wide and about 45 inches high to the top of the console right here. When I fold it and tip it up, if I were to store it vertically, the folded footprint is only 24 inches long. So it really kind of folds compactly, but then it lifts to 85 inches high and remains 23 inches wide. So that's kind of an overall assessment of the size and the space that you'll need. The rail slides along here. So you can see rather than have the rollers up on top, they're tucked down in the middle of that rail. So I feel like the seat is very stable. It doesn't rock side to side. And I measured this seat. It's 12 inches wide and about 10 inches deep, which is about an inch deeper than a Concept 2 saddle seat. So it really is quite comfortable. It has just a little bit of texture, which I really like. And you do have the contouring here for your tailbone and your legs as they come to the front. So surprisingly, this is probably the most comfortable seat that I've used on a rower. I really like it. And I just feel like that extra inch of span there at the front just provides a little more stability. You do have the adjustable foot pedals. So you can see you've got your footboard right here, which is that nice wood plate right behind, provides good stability. And then your footboards right here are attached to the plate. It does have the nice ankle release so that you do get that ankle flexion in there. And it will support like literally any size shoe. It's 12 inches long, and you could put any size athletic shoe in there. And then you do have the adjustable strap so it holds your foot in securely. Right here, you've got the catch and your handle. So the handle is 18 inches long, and it has just a little bit of contouring to it, which I really like. I find it, rather than just round, as you can see, it has a little bit of more of an oval shape. I find it very comfortable and easy to hold. I was able to do several rowing sessions on this machine, and I didn't get hand fatigue, which sometimes happens. I'm surprised sometimes on a rower, the first thing that I feel it is in my hands. And I like the way that the catch is straight out in front of you. So you don't have to come down here to bring that handle in at the end of each drive. You just bring it straight forward. The touchscreen is also placed directly above your line of sight. So as I'm rowing, I don't have to look down, I don't have to look up. I can easily see the touchscreen, and it does, as you can see, swivel about 30 degrees to either side. So you can get a little bit of visibility, which is nice because when you're doing off-rower classes like yoga or stretching or weights or whatever, you can move that touchscreen and it's easy to see. So the CityRow Go does not come with weights, but you can buy them as a separate package. They do add, you can get a few sets of weights in there and also a mat. One thing on this machine that could be a limiting factor for some people is it is quite low. So you can see down here to the height of the rail is only about 7.5 inches. So it's quite low. And the seat to the top of the seat is about 10 inches. So maybe for somebody with limited mobility, if you have joint issues, maybe hip limitations or knee problems, it could be slightly difficult to get down and then get back up. That would be really my only concern with this machine, is just how low it sits to the floor. You do have to plug it in to get it to work. So you do have to have some proximity to an outlet, and it does require either Ethernet or internet to access that programming. However, you do have a just row option, and I'll show you kind of the programming in a minute, but you're not locked into that preset classes. Like if you want to just sit down and row and set your own pace, you can set a distance, you can set a time. So it does have that option in there. It will support up to 375 pounds of user weight. One thing I really love about the CityRow Go is this rower comes completely assembled and delivery is free. So it was really nice to have it just show up. The only thing we had to do was fill the tank with water and set up our internet connection, and we were good to go. Also, it does have a pretty good warranty. So you have a 5-year warranty on the frame. You've got 3 years on non-electric parts, which would be, you know, most of the functional elements of the frame itself, and then 1 year on the touchscreen. So let's dive in and take a closer look at the console and the programming. So let's take a look at the console and the programming on the CityRow Go. So as you can see, you've got your 19.5-inch touchscreen, and it really has good graphics. I feel like it's really crisp and easy to see. Also, one thing I love about it is that your speakers are down here at the bottom. So that is something that's nice. Sometimes on fitness equipment, the speakers will be behind like they are on standard TV, which typically isn't a problem, but the sound does project away from you. So I do like that fact that it's down there. And I feel like the overall navigation is really pretty easy to understand on the programming here on the CityRow. So this is your home screen. This is what comes up when you first log in. It will bring up your total workouts in the last 7 days, meters rowed, the date, things like that. You also have some new classes that are up here at the top. You can kind of scroll through and look at some new options, and it will say new there and kind of the date that it was posted. It also has your activity feed, which is things that you've been doing, kind of just to keep track of your progress over time. And then down here, there's recommended things. So one thing that I really do like is that they have challenges for beginners. So there's 3 classes in this beginner challenge, and they just provide general instruction regarding rowing form, so different things that you can do. And then they also include, like, you've got a HIIT workout. This is all on the rower. And if you look really quick, close down here in the bottom left, oops, I didn't want to load that, but right here, or in the bottom right, I'm sorry, it will show you a picture of the equipment that is needed. So this workout is only gonna be on the rower, okay? This workout, you need a rower and weights. And then if you come to a workout, there might not be one in here, I'll go back, well, that's all on the floor, it will actually show you nothing down there in the corner. So that's kind of just an overview of your home screen. So if we go to classes, it's gonna bring up all of your training options. So the classes are divided by subcategories. You've got HIIT, endurance, strength, yoga, and mobility. And then you can also favorite certain ones that you might want to go back to later, or you can find the ones that you've already watched, which is nice. Your duration, 50 minutes, 30 minutes, and 20 minutes. So those are your options. And then of course you can choose from your favorite instructor if you have one. And they have a lot of different instructors, which is nice. So you can kind of go the instructor route if you want to. And then you can see down here, these are community favorites. So these are ones that people are doing that are kind of some of the favorites overall. You can see how I mentioned down here, there's no equipment little icon. So this mobility stretch, there's no equipment needed. You're gonna just be on the floor, just to the side of your rower. This is rower, this is yoga, another mobility one. Here's a HIIT one, and then strength, of course, incorporates weights. So you can order that weight package from CityRow, or you can just use your own weights. Either way, it will actually ask you before you start the class if you have weights, and make sure that you've got the equipment that you need. So those are just kind of some of the class options that you have. If you go to track, it's gonna just keep track of your information. So this is personal record, split time power, activity feed, things like that. You can earn badges, and then other options. So one thing I do like is that on this one, you have this just row option. And so I'm gonna row in this and just kind of show you how that works, but it gives you your total meters, stroke rate, your intensity, which is a percentage, split time, and watt power. Now you can see up here, it will sync with Bluetooth headphones. So if you want to sync with the machine in the programs, they will have music. You can adjust the volume down here, and it will also sync with a heart rate monitor. I don't have one on right now, but it will sync with any Bluetooth compatible heart rate monitor, and then you have that data as well. So if let's see, I'll hit go. And this up here is the duration of the class. So as I row, it just kind of moves those little lines along. And you can see my total meters, stroke rate, intensity, split time, and watt power. So in general, I find the programs to be really pretty good. Let me start a class real quick. Now over here on the side of the screen, this is my control button to turn the screen on and off. And this is my volume.
Just yesterday we were doing week 1, doesn't it, folks? Come to the back of your mat, let's get started. This week we are...
So that's your full volume, and it does have pretty good music back there. All the rowing classes are in a studio, so there's no outdoor routes, which is one thing that I do like. I love the outdoor routes, so I kind of miss that in this programming. But they're all in the same studio, and the graphics are really pretty good. It kind of looks like a little bit of an 80s studio, but I don't mind, it's kind of fun. And you just have, for right now, you just have the instructor and the rower. They haven't had any classes presented yet where you have other people in there, but it's also been a COVID year, so who knows. But she's just gonna kind of give you an overview, and then she'll get on the rower and provide cues. You can kind of move ahead in the class. It will take a minute to buffer till you get there, but I do like the fact that you can jump forward if you want to, so you do have some control over where you are in that class. So you also have the option to pause the class at any point. If you need to answer the phone, help a child with something, take a break, you can pause the class and then come back, and it will come back right to where you started. Let's sit down and take a minute to kind of assess the overall functionality of the CityRow Go. I'm gonna just run through a real quick row segment, so I'll be in control of the rowing programming. But listen for the sound of the seat as it moves along that rail. Also listen for the churning of the water. Those are kind of some of the nicer features that people appreciate about a water rower. So the first thing is you always want to make sure you're strapped in correctly. I do like the fact that the straps are adjustable and you have lots of different notches. The only thing that's kind of funny is there's no numbers on them or anything, so you kind of have to count or remember. It's kind of nice when they have numbers, because I know, oh, I'm automatically going to put it at a 3 or whatever. But you do have the adjustable straps, and they will hold your feet in securely. So even if I put some pressure against those straps, they don't come loose, which is something that I really like. You kind of have to watch for that sometimes. I always want to make sure that I'm appropriately positioned on the saddle. not too far forward and not too far back. I've actually had experience with people when we were doing rowing instruction and they have rowed off the rower, off the saddle. So make sure that you've got a good position on that saddle. And then right here at the catch, you're just gonna pull straight out. Now, one thing that I really like about this is you can see it has a belt strap. So rather than a chain, which tends to be a little louder and can clank as it you know, slides in and out, the belt is very smooth. And as I pull, you can just hear that water churn in there. So that's all the noise it makes. I mean, it's very, very quiet. So you can adjust the water level in your tank. More water obviously is more resistance, and then less water. They do recommend a certain baseline that you don't take it below that. But you don't have any adjustable drag factor, which is one thing that's kind of nice to be able to control the drag just a touch. And you don't have any preset resistance levels. Like an air rower, this is all how hard you pull. So the harder I pull and the more water I move around with each stroke, the more resistance I generate. I can go nice and light if I want to. But the nice thing with this is the rower, the person rowing, is completely in control of the resistance and the pace. All right. So, and then your handle just goes right back there. I measured, and the handle as it emerges from the neck of the rower is about 20 inches high, which when you account for the height of the seat is actually really perfect, at least for me. You do have this spongy cord that kind of moves underneath, and we did have a little rattle earlier, but we were able to adjust it and it's not a problem. So this just has a really nice smooth feel to it. I really like the way the rail just kind of slides up and back. I don't feel like it's so slick that it's sliding me, nor do I have to push against that seat to get it to move. It's just a very nice feel. I also really like this particular wood board right here that supports your foot pedals. Something about it being wood, it almost just feels like you're in a boat. So I feel like that's kind of a nice design, even the way it's shaped. It's really easy to get out of the strap, so all you have to do is just push the little things to the sides and just pull your feet out, and then you can adjust it when you get back in. And the catch is a really comfortable position just straight in front. In conclusion, very quiet, very comfortable. I really like the seat on this. Of all the rowers that I've used, this is probably my favorite seat. The rower is smooth. So as you move up and back, it's not like you're trying to keep up with that seat, but you're not working against it either. I love the position of the catch. It's just directly in front of you. It's not too low. I'm not reaching down in between my ankles, nor am I reaching up high and pulling down. So I really like the placement of the catch, and the touchscreen is well suited as well. And I really, really like the sound of the water as it moves. I was surprised how much I enjoyed this particular design. We do have other rowers in here. We've got magnetic rowers and air rowers, and we've tested them all. This is probably one of my favorite designs, maybe one that I would consider using at home because of the way that it's just very smooth and the way that it sounds. I do like the chic design. The natural wood is an aesthetic that I appreciate, and I like the fact that it folds up. So you do have to be careful if you do store it vertically. Make sure that it's out of the way, that it's secured in such a way that children couldn't knock it over, you know, a ball or something like that. But other than that, I really like it. There's only a few things that we have, you know, maybe recommendations on. One is just make sure that you can get down low enough to get on that seat. So you got that 10-inch height. So we do want people to be aware of that when you're considering this. The programming is a little bit new, so they're still kind of working out a few kinks. In general, I'm really impressed. I feel like their instructors are good and they're constantly updating. So, you know, you do have that subscription that comes with that you kind of have to factor in. So just make sure that you factor in the subscription. But in general, we highly recommend this machine. And if you are someone who is looking for a quality, quiet rower with you know, included programming, the CityRow Go is a great option. If you would like a full detailed written review, check us out at treadmillreviewguru.com. I've got a full written review with pictures and up-close shots and stuff like that. For current pricing, click the link below. And as always, if you liked our video, make sure to subscribe and give us a thumbs up. My name's Kristen. Thanks for joining us at Treadmill Review Guru, and I'll see you again soon.